I once heard Tucker Carlson say that the most masculine word in the English language is no. A few days ago, JD Vance, the Vice President of the United States, he was being interviewed by a number of affluent white female liberals, the awful class of journalists in this country, AWFL. And in that set of interviews, he used that word or perhaps that frame several times of totally and completely rejecting the assumptions made by the female interviewer and debunking and simply not caring. The most viral moment came when a character named, I believe, Margaret Brennan from CBS, if I remember that correctly, she attempted to pull a little bit of school marmery on Vice President Vance in an attempt to shame and manipulate and emotionally blackmail him with regard to how an illegal alien had been radicalized to anti-white violence. And Vice President Vance, we're calling him 48 now, by the way, 48 said, "I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me." And that is the correct frame in dealing with people who are so, I would say, unpersuadable or anti-persuadable that the best thing you can do is push them in the opposite direction in order to help them reach total and complete defeat. What MAGA, let's say, is experiencing right now, and this I believe will be helpful for you, what MAGA is experiencing is total victory across all fronts. President Donald J. Trump had done more in the first week than Vice President Kamala, his opponent, and President Biden had done in 4 years in terms of good things for the United States of America, productive things. They've done a lot of unproductive things, of course, and there are a lot of illegal aliens that have got to go back. Apparently 8 million entered the United States from 2021 to 2025, January 19th, 2025. So there's a lot that has got to be pulled back. So the Trump administration and the right-wing influence space is going to keep pushing, is going to keep pressing. I want you to imagine a horseshoe. You have heard horseshoe theory talked about quite often in politics, right? What I want you to think about, and yeah, it's going to be on the wrong side of the screen, but just follow me here. What the left is still trying to do is they're trying to push back, they're trying to promote their ideas, they're trying to persuade, they're trying to push back against the right who is advancing. And on any key point, the right relents, agrees, or surrenders. That is giving the left room. It's giving them hope. And the last thing we want to do in this country is to give the left hope. Do you understand? Because what that's going to do is that's going to galvanize them into a semi-effective, if not effective, resistance to the America First policies, which just makes sense because you generally see a country's job is to take care of its citizens first. And the woke mind virus, one of its symptoms when someone contracts it is to oppose that which benefits those they are responsible for. And it causes them to have a fictive kinship with those who are furthest removed to them, up to and including viewing other species as more important than their own families. You see this with vegan activists a lot, where they will often be emotionally and verbally abusive to their children, to their spouse, to their parents, to their grandparents, to siblings over their selected diet. And they raise animals above that, when they would never treat even just a stray critter on the street or farm animal with that vitriol that they treat their own family. So what we need to happen is to continue push back until ultimately horseshoe moment. Foomp. You see what we just did there? Foomp. Who wants to be on the losing side all day? The next 4 years in your personal life, give up no ground. Push. They come back and say, but look at all these illegal aliens being, well, they'll say, look at all these undocumented migrant workers. It's so unfair. I don't really care, Margaret. Donald Trump is so transphobic. I don't really care, Margaret. Most of the American people agree with me. This is so offensive. LGBTQ rights and women's rights and reproductive rights, and I don't really care, Margaret. And I think most Americans agree with me. There must be sustained defeat of the left so that they cannot rise again. And the only way out, the only way to save face, must be to become a member of the winning team. Does that make sense? That's why there can be no relenting, there can be no giving up, and there must be a perpetual no from the masculine right to the feminine and effeminate left. I suggest you do the same in your own person.